Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the show today. Really looking forward to getting into it. It's been a few days since I've done any of this stuff. I do apologize for that. Had a little bit of kind of chaos this weekend. My daughter came in to visit. It's been nearly 2 years since we've seen her because of all this mess. So that was nice having her in. But I had another problem though, Thundera. One of my good friends passed away this weekend, and
Yeah, that's rough, man.
yeah, it is, and he was kind of the center of the musical world here in this region, and so it's there's a lot of stuff that needs to be done, of course, in regards to that. But the worst thing is, his wife passed away like 14 or 15 months ago, and their daughter, who is not only my daughter's friend and classmate, she lost both her parents in what 15 months period.
Oof.
I mean, Jesus, dude. I mean,
It's a
that's
big oof.
rough. That is rough. We didn't know about the wife. He had kept that kind of quiet, and she passed away, and it was kind of a shock to everybody. We've known for a good 6 months he's been he has cancer and he was battling it. Or
Mhm.
I shouldn't say that because Norm Macdonald said we shouldn't say that because when you lose your battle, you're a loser. So it's not good. We won't do that.
It's
But
true.
anyway, it is true.
He's
Yeah,
not wrong.
he's not
It
wrong.
it is a draw.
It
Listen, you
is a
fought that
draw.
bitch to a draw.
He did.
Stalemate's a win in
Yeah.
my book.
But yeah, no, that was pretty rough. And I think there's a lot of memorials and things this week. So I'm not sure how it will affect. Most of those things are usually late afternoon or evening, so it probably won't affect the show. But I'll let you guys know if I do have some problem with that. But yeah, just a bit of a bear of a weekend. So I do apologize for all the stuff. The Joe and a quarter knot going on last week had nothing to do with that, though. That was the next day that we found out about that. They were a bunch of people got COVID or are sick or whatever, a whole bunch of stuff. And I'm not sure if we'll have a show this week or not, or we'll just kind of come back in October for the Joe and a quarter, give them a little bit of a break, I think.
I
But
like
we'll,
that idea.
yeah,
That's a good idea. Because Act 1, there's a couple reasons. One, September's kind of a boring month
it
and
is.
kind of a crappy month. Like, nothing really cool happens in September. I mean, college football, I guess, but that's already happened, usually in August. And September's just kind of like everything gets real busy kind of month because kids are back in
Yeah,
school and da 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 da. And like the world just kind of picks up pace heading to the holiday season, rushing to get winter. But October's harvest month.
yeah, it
October's
is.
pretty outside. You got Halloween. You got all these cool events like apple butter festivals and all this stuff that happens in
Oh,
October.
that's true. That is true.
October's a good month. It's probably
I
my
mean,
favorite
college
month in
football.
all honesty, October. Because it's
Yeah.
not freezing ridiculous nonsense cold yet. And you don't usually get snow, and if you do it's just a light dusting. But it's also not, you can't hardly breathe when you walk outside sweltering. So it's just a nice balance between the two.
It is, and we can also do like a horror theme month with
Yeah.
all kind of interesting things because that's one of the problems that they've been having is kind of deciding what they want to draw. And you got to keep in mind because I love the drone and quarter. That's a fun show for me because for me, art is kind of like magic, from my point
Yeah.
of view because I cannot do it. And so I always appreciate it and really enjoy it. And even though technically it's not my show, it's Pixel Trader's show. I mean, I've been kind of doing it for long enough. I guess it's mine, right? But I do try to not stick my big old sausages into that mix and let them make their own decisions and kind of go with that. I try to stay out of it as much as I can. I just host the show.
Yep.
However, yeah, I think they'll make a choice what they're going to do, and all you artists and stuff are over on the Drone Recorder Discord. I'll be paying attention, and we'll figure out what we're going to do with that. Nevertheless. Yeah, so rough weekend for me. Hopefully, all you guys have had a good weekend. You got Lady Celtic Moon in there, Roger, and Joshua. Hello to you guys. Please do us a favor and hit that share button so we can get people to come over and join us. And well, we got some fun things to talk about. But before we jump into that, though, did you have yourself a good weekend?
For the most part, yeah, no real complaints. Just hung out with the wife, worked out, That's about it. Nice boring weekend. I like boring. Boring is what you want, in all honesty.
Yeah.
Simple. As simple as you can get your life, that's where you want to be.
Yeah, well, I had to drive to the northern city 4 times in the past 3 days.
Oof.
Yeah, it's a good
How
hour and a
far is
half
that?
drive, hour and a half one
That's
way.
not fun.
Yeah, well, it is what it is, and it is nice to see the kid again. I said it's been a couple of years, and she's living up much further northern, one of the biggest cities in Japan, actually. And
Hmm.
she got a job, and she's got her life going on and stuff, and it's all well. I'm the father, right? So it's not like I'm desperate to see the kids, but my wife certainly was happy.
Well, that's always good. See, that's the other key to happiness: a happy woman in your life.
That's true, and it is interesting how many people I see these days saying that's a crock of shit, man. Happy life, happy wife, happy life. That's crock. No, it's not. No, it's
No,
not. Yeah, no, without question. I mean, yeah, sure, women can be a little more high maintenance than men most of the time, but not always.
no.
Right? There are
Well,
plenty of women who
also
aren't high maintenance, and there's plenty of men who are. So I don't know what you're
for
on about.
I think men, especially more so than the ladies. Not that this is a knock on ladies. They're just wired different. We like to bring happiness to the people we love,
Sure.
and the point where we will literally die for it. Now, I'm not saying women won't, but not to the same level. Like a masculine love, a man's love, is a more self-sacrificing of your physical being. Now, women's
Oh,
is
absolutely.
more emotionally self-sacrificing, I would say.
Yeah.
But those aren't necessarily the same thing. And for me, I take great satisfaction in when my wife is happy, when she's
Sure, sure.
smiling, when she's happy, when she's having a good time. That's for me. That's all I care about. If I
Oh
can
yeah.
make that happen, I'm pretty much set.
Yeah, no, that's it. We're built that way, you know.
Yeah.
And woes be to anybody who brings unhappiness to my wife. War has been declared. Absolutely, and that includes my own children. My son learned that really quick. Actually, he was really good, and then it was in his teenage years. He had like a week of rebellion,
Hmm.
and I nipped that in the bud because he said something. It was in not in English, but in effect, it's like, I don't care what you just shut up, right? And
Oof.
I'm
Yeah.
sitting in the other room, and they're in the hallway. I was in that hallway, had him up against the wall, off his feet, and I looked at him. I said, "Don't do that again." You're right, because that's one thing I get here in Japan. I mean, I've lived here almost 20 years, right? And I've been visiting for 25, 26 years, right? And
Yeah.
the people around me, not just the normal Japanese, but even the people around me, they forget that I understand Japanese. They do it all the
Hmm.
time. They'll just have their little conversations, assuming the guy Jin doesn't know shit, right? And it's like, dude, right? I mean, it's just kind of an arrogance of the culture, I guess. And this might be true in any foreign culture you go to. That might well be true, right? I don't know, but I get that all the time. Even my own family forgets that I speak Japanese quite well, and my ear is way better than my speaking anyway. I mean, can I have a philosophical conversation? Kinda, because that's pretty deep thought, right? But I can certainly
Right.
understand one when I hear it, though, right? Because my ear is better than
Mm.
my speech. But yeah, no, that was yeah. Don't bring unhappiness to my wife because you are definitely poking the bear, you know.
Chester,
Yeah, so
these kids over here, man, I'm telling you right now, if I'm for this is one of the reasons I'm glad I'm not a parent, because there'd be some serious pain delivered if one of these kids spoke, especially my kid, spoke to my wife the way I see some of these people speak to their mothers. I'm talking all kinds of curse words. I'm like, nope,
no,
nope,
no, no. Don't even
that
talk to
ain't
me
happening.
that way. But
Yeah,
it depends on the setting, of course. Like over here, we're busting balls and we're goofing around and stuff. So I don't take any offense to any kind of stuff that goes on here. But
yeah,
that's the setting, right? But
yes,
in normal situation, because it's funny. My I'm just kind of relaxed and sitting in the bathrobe in a way. here just enjoying the show. But in my normal life, I do not have the interactions I have here, right?
Yes.
I am the professor or the teacher or what have you, and and we can have fun, but there is a line, and you do not cross it, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. In a way, I guess being here and kind of being in the old way is cathartic for me. It's probably good for me actually.
It is. It's good to be around people who can call you on your shit
Oh yeah,
and who can just, deflate your ego a bit.
yeah,
Uh, it's good to be humbled in that way occasionally. You don't want to be humiliated, but just barbed, just pricked at a little bit.
yeah. Well, that's how men balance each other, and it's good. It works out well.
Yeah,
It's been a long time, so I kind of missed it, but yeah, no, it's there's a lot of nonsense you hear these days in regards to women and especially wives and mothers from all sides, and they're all quite negative. And I think people have just lost the plot, dude.
yeah.
I understand that they're kind of fighting this culture war and they're pushing back against each other on these extremes. The problem is the rest of us are left here in the middle,
Hmm.
just having to deal with their dumbasses. And I think we're getting sick of it, aren't we?
Yes, and it's happening all over the world all at once. And the crash that's happening in China, very, very large one that just started happening today, economically, hasn't even started to ripple over here in a massive way yet, but it's coming.
Dude, I've been telling
And
you that's coming for 2 years, man.
well, no, but I mean, it actually happened. Their housing market basically just collapsed like ours did in 2008.
Yeah.
And yeah, so get ready for big old recession time because it's coming.
Yeah,
Um,
no, there's a recession coming. How you deal with it really depends on the foundation of your government, your country's economics. Places like, say, America and Japan here, of course, it won't be fun, but they'll survive it because they have a foundation that's actually has something under it. Now, I see a lot of people these saying America has nothing under it; it's completely empty. Now, I understand that the world currency today is a fiat system. I get this. I understand. But America has a lot underneath of it. I don't know what you're talking about. We
yeah,
have incredible amounts of oil reserve, natural resources. America has a lot underneath of it, as does and Japan has an actual monetary system underneath of it, right?
right.
Now, places like China and some of the European countries have really cut their legs out, and they're going to get hit really hard. It is coming. We all know it, whether we want to talk about it or not. But I think, in general, if your country is one that has some general, actual, resources underneath of it, you'll be okay. But we'll see. We'll talk about it as it comes. But anyway, today we're here to talk about comic books. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm always ready.
That's good, because I have some
Always ready.
interesting things to talk about today. A
Hmm.
little bit of self-reflection coming out of the Looney Tunes,
It
so that's always good,
won't
isn't it?
last.
No, it
Mark,
never does it? It never does it? Let me get this up real quick and go
listen.
ahead.
I know how you're supposed to pronounce his last name, but I'm not doing it. It's Miller. I don't care what letter he's got in there. It's nonsense. Get it out of here. Put an E in there where it belongs. Mark Miller announces new comic book series and Netflix show provides update on the Magic Order and King of Spies.
Okay, we are here to talk about comic books today, and I really wanted to say congratulations to Edwin for making it into a comic book first. It's pretty good. Um, of course, it's supposed to be Sam Elliott, but it does look like our Edwin. And
Oh crap! That's a beard and a mustache. I legitimately thought that was a mask he was wearing.
no, no, it's a beard
So
and
you
mustache.
put it back.
Yeah. It's definitely Sam Elliott. But Millar is he's I don't know. His Ultimate stuff was okay with his Marvel Ultimate stuff. It was okay. I was never big a fan of his Authority. I did enjoy Jupiter's Legacy, and I never read the Kick-Ass comic, but the movie, the first one anyway, was fun.
Yeah,
I'm not the hugest Mark Millar fan, but I'm not against him either. He's a good old Scottish boy. It's done good, So
Mhm.
good on him for that. Congratulations. Hey, he's making money. He has some influence, so it's all good. I do think it's neat that he's definitely given that. Is that a Henry? That's a Henry, yeah. The Henry Winchester there on Edwin's back there, shoulder. But this is talk about some of his new stuff is coming out because we've been talking about it for a while. The Millarverse has been picked up by Netflix. Netflix, isn't it? I think it's Netflix. And he's got a whole bunch of stuff coming. So what is it, and how's it? How's it going to come out? And here we're looking at some new comic books, however, that look like they might also be picked up as series. Now he's got the this one right here. You're 17. You've been bitten by a vampire. What do you do? So this is called Nightclub, and basically, I guess they're Mexican kids. Okay. They got
Luchadors?
they got the mascara thing going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming they're Mexican, which is fine. And Basically, he's saying, what would you do? And these teenagers, they're instead of skulking in alleys and murdering strangers, he actually has them looking at it a different way. So what could they do with their life? So he kind of looking at the idea that he says they've been guzzling bags of blood in hospital storage units and made some money as superheroes instead. That's what these kids do. They're just decided to help people with every sport, win every sport prize, take on their school bullies, make a little cash, and have a good time. But of course, the vampires who bit them have other ideas, he explained. So he's basically, these kids get bitten by and become vampires. Instead of just becoming a predator, they go out and they try to do good things. That's the premise, and the art here is not so bad. There are a bunch
Oh, that
of,
sounds fucking grand, laddie.
well, I don't know. It might be set in like Mexico City or something like that. It could be fun. Do you like Mark Millar, Booster?
Um, Sometimes I have very mixed
Yeah.
feelings on Mark Millar.
Yeah, no, I do too.
As I say, that looks like an artist he works with. Who's that art?
I don't see I don't see a pin to it, so I
Well,
don't know. But the art looks
Google
Um,
it.
good.
I think Mark Millar is good when he's not trying to be edgy, because when he tries to be edgy, it's a fucking travesty.
Yeah.
I'll always point to Nemesis for sources on that, where he made a comic where he imagined Batman kidnapped twins and made them impregnate one another, and he thought that was a great idea for a comic that he needed to share with the world.
Oh Jesus. Well,
But
and
he also made Superman Red Sun.
yeah.
So
Oh, did he? That was him. I didn't know that.
yeah,
Um,
hmm
well, once again, the alternate verse or elsewhere world Superman is always a thing, I guess. But
hmm
Now I know that Kick-Ass was a comic. I didn't read it, but I know that they
hmm
changed Kick-Ass and they got all woke about it. Did he do that, or did he pass the comic on to someone else who did that?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I think he might have done that, but I don't know. Kick-Ass wasn't my thing anyway. That's a really mean comic. Some of his stuff is just really mean spirited and nasty. I don't care
It
for it.
is. It most certainly is. And But I mean, you kind of like it or you don't. I mean, Jupiter's Legacy has its incredible levels of
Yeah.
meanness too. But
Mhm.
That's his thing. These comics here that he's doing are going to be turned into Netflix shows, and we know Netflix is kind of a train wreck unto itself. But one thing we
Yeah.
do have to admit, though, Booster, is that Millar can write, though.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
wait, he also did a little comic called Huck. If you guys haven't read Huck, Huck is just lovely, right? I'm talking about all this fucking mean spirited stuff he's done, but then he did Huck, and that is just a really nice comic.
Oh, there you go. Hey, Dave.
It's
Hey, Ara.
basically
Nice
just
to see you guys.
think if Superman never left Kansas and he was a very simple guy. That's basically Huck. It's really nice.
He really likes the Elseworld Superman, doesn't he? It's
Yeah,
interesting.
I think
Yeah.
he's a Superman fan.
Yeah.
And you know what? I like a person who's a Superman fan.
Oh, I like Superman.
I don't trust anybody who's not.
I like most people who like Superman.
Okay. There we go. There it is. But
Oh my god, he wrote Trouble!
Yeah,
If
no.
you don't know what Trouble is a weird attempt at a romance comic they did in the mid 2000s, and because they're trying to bring romance comics back for some reason, and at the end it revealed that the two the men and the woman in that comic were all tied to Spider-Man, and they also decided to make Aunt May Spider-Man's mother.
Huh?
It was a weird comic,
Oh
and it was
God.
all about. So if you ever wanted to read a comic where Ben, Richard, May, and Mary are all partying together and
Incestuous.
getting horny over each other,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Read Trouble.
Oh, there you go.
I
But
recommend you don't.
well, then don't. But here's the thing, though. Netflix has two major problems, right? One, they're way too woke and they need to get a grip. And two, the writing is often very bad.
Yep.
Whereas Millar is, whether you like all this stuff or not, because I certainly don't. The dude can write, though. So
He's a
that's
mixed
the.
bag, Mark Millar.
Are you ready? The covers were done by Greg Capullo.
Oh,
There it
oh,
is.
there. Oh, okay. All right.
What
Well,
else
that
I really like? Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Eric, what's going on, dude? Superman is okay. Fuck you, Eric. All right.
Eric.
So we
Damn
got
it.
Jesus. Head to my face.
this comic
Oh
that
wait,
looks.
no, I'm sorry. They were done by Greg Capullo, Ben Temple-Smith, and Ben Oliver. So 3 different people.
So one of those guys. Yeah.
One of
One of
those
them is
guys.
in there.
But
Anyway,
I do
Mark
like
Millar
the art.
also did Old Man Logan.
Did he? And then see, I
Yeah.
love that one. I absolutely
See,
adore that.
he's got quite the repertoire.
He does.
I would like
you know.
Old Man Logan more if they would have kept it and just let him be dead.
Hmm.
Just pull the trigger, let him be gone for a while. He can always bring a guy back. Just let him be dead for a while.
Yeah. Well,
Also did
they
some
don't.
great authority stories. So, like I said, I love a lot of Mark Millar stuff, but I also absolutely despise some of his work.
Yeah, and that's why I kind of put it down to his skill is there.
Yeah,
But so you got
yeah.
this vampire one here. I'm assuming it's somewhere in Mexico. High school Mexican kids. Yeah, it could be interesting. Could be interesting. It's good. These are all going to be potential Netflix shows, right? The next one here is called The King of Spies. And I don't know anything about this one at all. I don't really care. And then the Magic Order, which is very diverse. I don't know you could get much diverse. Do we have one of every color booster? I think we do.
Let's say, let me get the shaders out. There is a
Like,
blonde white man there. He probably needs to be deleted and evaporated from existence.
Probably. He looks like he's supposed to be
Yeah.
Constantine too, so
Kind of does a
But
bit.
the Magic Order. I don't mind magic stuff if it's done right,
Mm.
And what have
Dirty
you.
Wizard.
Dirty Wizard, yes.
Yeah. I don't want to see that. Get that out of here.
Here's the big problem with Magic is a lot of times writers, they don't define the terms of their magic right out the gate, and it just becomes a mess logically to follow. Like, I mean, it's magic, so it's obviously illogical, but it still has to have some rules, or else
Yeah,
the
it needs
story
rules
can't be
involved.
told. Yeah,
Mhm.
the story just doesn't make
Or
sense.
else everything becomes a arse pull.
Yes, exactly.
Oh,
Or
he
what
also
they'll
did the
do
bloody
is,
Kingsman. Mark Millar.
Yeah, no, I
yeah,
know that. I know that. Yeah.
Yeah.
or what they'll do is they'll have the rules set up, and everybody else follows them, and then there'll just be one character who doesn't. And it's like, no, stop it. The rules is the rules.
Yeah.
Stop breaking them.
Yeah.
Well, all that one needs is the power of friendship.
It does.
Yes.
Anime.
Yes. Yeah.
Hmm.
But the thing being is, there are some Millar stuff coming to Netflix, and I don't know if I should even bother say cross our fingers, but at a minimum, we know that it will be well written, and that's one of the biggest problems with all the stuff that comes on to Netflix is the writing is so bad. It's so
Yeah.
bad,
Hmm.
and the wokeness I get, and that's another issue. But it's come on, you can't even give the writing correct. That's not good,
There's
dude.
different issues.
They're different
Wokeness and
issues.
they tend to come hand in hand for some
Yeah,
reason. Like you never have something that's woke and well written. Come on.
we saw that.
Because I can explain that real quick. Communists are not human, and they cannot
There
create.
you go.
And there you go, aliens
What I
confirmed.
find
Um,
strange is what do Netflix think Mark Millar's name is worth? because
They
he's
gave him a lot of money.
pretty popular in comics, but outside of that, who the fuck knows Mark Millar?
Well, I have no trouble with a comic book guy having success and making some money, dude. And I hope he drops something.
I've got no problem with that. I'm just wondering what Netflix game is here. I find it strange. I think it's a strange move to bank so much on this guy.
Yeah, well, they did though, and maybe they thought it was an affordable get. You know, I don't know. But nevertheless, we'll keep an eye out for it. I do know, like for instance, Netflix original movie Kate came out here recently, and it's getting absolutely shredded here in Japan because it's just racist against Japanese. Let's be honest, and it also seems to be just a complete copy of Jason Statham's Crank. I mean, it's not like that was an original, super
Oh,
original anyway, but
bro, I love Crank so much. It's such
yeah,
a shit movie, but I love it.
yeah. But now imagine it with a lady.
Oh, that's no fun. I hate women.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, fair enough. But yeah, no, we'll keep an eye open for it. Hopefully they'll be good. Hopefully. Now this is karma or irony. I'm not sure. Go ahead.
Carmery?
Someone else said so. I'm in the kitchen.
Oh,
Kelly Sue DeConnick laments the abysmal, it's a good word, state of
Abysmal.
comics after telling people not to buy her books. Well, you get what you pay for, all right?
Is that bounding into comics with the headline?
it is. But
I knew it. I knew just from the absolute spite in the title there. I knew it was bounding into comics. They're so
Absolutely.
good at that.
They are.
They got
Yeah.
skills for that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we all know the interview she did sometime back where she's just being the ultra SJW, and if you don't like it, fuck off, don't buy my book, right? Now she did another interview, which is where this headline's coming from, where she said, "Yeah, no, the comic book industry is in really, really, really bad shape. Even the big guys, meaning Marvel, DC, are not selling, and she's really, really worried." And it's like, well, we've been telling you this
Only
for
someone
years.
told her. If only somebody brought it up to her.
I know, right? Yeah.
There's
But
also that smug fucking photo of her and Gail Simone with their beautiful lips pursed, going, "Sorry, we ruined comics, guys." Haha.
yeah.
And well,
But
what happens?
what do you guys think? Seriously, what do you think about this realization or this acceptance or this admittance, or I don't know, however we want to look at it? But at least she seems to be self-aware to understand that the comic book industry in America is dead, and she
Good.
she she understands that.
This
Good.
would be hilarious if I didn't find it so fucking depressing.
I don't find it depressing
Because
at all. I'm glad.
this is one of my favorite hobbies, that is going down the shit, and
Here,
they're
here's
bringing
why
it
I'm
down.
glad. Here's why I'm glad. Exactly, that's why I'm glad right there, because they're doing it on purpose. And they're either too stupid to realize that their actions are causing it, or they're so malevolent that they don't care. So good, let it go to shit.
Yeah,
It's the only way to save it.
Yeah.
Because the characters aren't going anywhere, guys. Like, that's what everybody's worried about.
That's
It's not that we
true.
care about Marvel or
That's
DC.
true.
We care about the characters going away. They're not going anywhere. Superman ain't fucking going anywhere. Spider-Man ain't going anywhere. X-Men ain't going anywhere. Someone will buy those properties if Disney decides to sell them. The only real worst-case scenario would be Disney shelving it all and being like, sorry, you lose. But I don't see them doing that because the money in the brand is still there. These particular people are just morons or ideological zealots, and they do not know how to do this anymore, or many of them never did know how to do this anymore. And because of that, everything woke turns to shit, as former President Donald John Trump once famously said.
Hmm.
It's called
get woke.
woke.
You get woke, you go broke, is the saying we say around here. I like the old one, the old classic. It's got a nice ring to it. You reap what you sow.
Yeah.
When you reap nothing but destruction out of pure venom to the people who are supposed to be your audience, and then you get back nothing but echoes. What the hell did you think was going to happen, you idiots? You set fire to it and then got mad that it burned.
Yeah.
You get
And
what
that's
you
all
fucking
true.
deserve.
It's all true, and they know it, and maybe she's showing a little bit of contrition, and because for me, it's
Whoops.
also a little bit more an extra bit of sadness when it comes to the comic, because I've said this before, and you guys gave me shit for it, but the girl can actually write. She does have skill.
I
She,
wouldn't know.
she
I haven't read her shit.
well, I've been forced to, but
Oh, damn.
well, no, she can actually write. She does know
Mhm,
how to
mhm,
do the job, which is better than a lot of these other diversity hires or identity politic hires. She does have skill. She's
Mhm.
mhm.
just deluded, and she's on some manner of tear to prove something that's never been in disagreement. But she seems to be showing a little bit of contrition. Maybe she realized she stepped in it. I don't know. But if you watch this interview, which I will not play, because not a chance. But this interview right here, she's definitely being contrite, dude.
Just everything about if she wants to prove her contriteness, she needs to fix the way she looks. Let's start there. I don't
Well,
believe because this is how women. That's how women show sorrow. Is they change their appearance. That's just the truth. And anybody who's ever watched a woman go through a breakup knows it.
mhm.
That's how they do it. They change their appearance. So I believe she's contrite genuinely when she starts to present herself not looking like a school marm from 1945.
With a cow ring in her nose. I still don't get
Yeah,
that. That's your generation, Booster. Explain it to me.
America, explain.
Um, my generation are retard.
Okay.
Chester, I think she's closer to your generation than Boosters, but she's
Oh no,
pretty
she's
old.
definitely a Generation X. She is a Gen Xer, without question. And we've already come to this agreement. Gen Xers are the real root of the problem. We've already come
Yep.
to this. The Boomers had way too much from their parents, who busted their ass and survived absolute horrible things
No.
to
Yep.
get the world to where it was. The boomers were spoiled brats, and they didn't really do their job properly. The Gen Xers, my generation, was even worse, and it's just been
Hmm.
getting going downhill. And I have no problem admitting that my generation is the root cause of the problem, because it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And she's certainly part of it. I just think it's unfortunate. Gail Simone's another example. She is a person who is skilled. She can write. She's
She's
not a
written one of
bad
my
writer.
favorite series of all time. I love Secret Six.
Yeah, I mean,
I recommend it to everyone.
and they just, both of them got on this damn bandwagon of, we have to destroy men, and it's like, why? Every
Look at
time you
this
ask
woman.
a
I'll
man
tell you
for
why she
something, they
did.
give it to you.
I'll tell you why she did. Because look at her. Would you want to be with her?
Yeah, well,
There you go.
Look,
The
look at
90. I would say 90+% of women who are like that. They understand that they're just what they are is they're just not pretty enough to get the men
Isn't
that
she
they want.
banging Matt Fraction though?
Who's Matt Fra I don't know who that is.
nah, she might
He is,
be.
but she
Yeah,
is, and Matt Fraction's a pretty
right
good
here.
looking
The Matt
douchebag.
Fraction right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, oh,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
oh, he looks like an even messier Doug TenNapel.
yeah, no, he does. That's true. But
It's just these ladies, I'm using that term loosely, they don't have the self-awareness to realize what they've done. And not just them, there's a plenty of men who are basically women as well, who have done it as well. And it goes all the way up to the top of these companies. And all the way up to Disney too. They're not without blame. But the reality is the market has been screaming at them to stop this. The people and literally the retailers have literally been screaming at them to stop this in their
yes,
face,
yes,
and they will not stop because Twitter likes it. Twitter doesn't make you money, you morons, obviously, or else the industry would be in much better shape, because there's no excuse. There's no credible excuse for why manga sales are in the tens of millions in America and comic sales are not. There's no good excuse for that other than the comics are garbage. That's it. That's the excuse. The buck stops there because there's nothing else that makes sense. You can't say, well, people who don't want print. No, they clearly don't mind print. People don't want to go to special store. No, they clearly don't mind that. So it's none of those two things, the two excuses that they've been using for 25 years now, since the comic industry turned in the 90s and never rebounded. So what is it? They're trash. The few pearls that come out here or there make it, it gives people almost like a form of Stockholm syndrome because
Yeah.
they get thrown a bone now and then. Wow, this is really good. And then everything around them is on fire as they're standing on an island.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and yeah, she also did mention the loss of the retail places as well. She did mention that in the interview, and you don't have to watch the interview, but it's you can see that awareness has struck Marblehead, right?
Yep.
And Eric says, Chester, I'm taking away your Gen X card and downgrading you to a boomer. Well, there's plenty of us Gen Xers that are much more like our grandfathers, right? And I'm certainly one of those. But there's enough of the Gen X that got into this whatever nonsense that they've gotten into, and it's evolved, it's mutated, it's into this what it is now. It's coming out of those Gen Xers, those Karens, that
Look,
just
I'll tell you what it is, all right? You guys watch Star Wars and you haven't stopped bitching about it since. I don't know what happened, what kind of circuits crossed with Star Wars and Gen X's, but it fucked you up.
maybe that could be it. It could be
The
it.
boomers were right.
Could be it. Yeah.
Star Wars is the devil.
It is the devil. Yeah, that's right. Well, anyway, let's move on from that and to this.
This is. All right. DC Comics pokes fun at anti-vaxxers with anti-saver movement in Superman versus Lobo.
Okay.
I'm glad I didn't pick that up because I was gonna, because I liked the look of it. Because I love Lobo, I love Superman.
Because that's
So I'm
not a
glad I
false
didn't.
equivalence at all.
Well,
Mhm.
of course not that, but that's the point. In this is a bunch of people that are complaining about Superman doing his thing, and they're trying to make the funny thing is they're trying to make a reference to the anti-vaxxers, but the way they're written, I'm going to show you here in a minute. They feel much more like what a SJW would say and do. So they couldn't even get that right. They even screwed up their own pone. And
Hmm.
I'll explain it here. Here you have them just kind of
Hashtag
complaining.
no thanks, Superman.
Yeah, hashtag no thanks Superman. Women are complaining about people are complaining, and of course, this lady is talking about ego. Great. But here you go. So
What
this
is that hand beast in the middle?
right. But this woman says Superman didn't bother to ask her about her fear of heights when he flew her away from a fire. This one says Superman is powered by radioactivity and making people sterile. Okay, Alex Jones, I get it. And what the hell is an anti-saver? Don't interfere with God's plan. But so this is all supposed to be
Mm-hmm.
right,
I want them to die.
right, right wingers and stuff. But the way it's written and the way it looks, it's very actually lefty in its
Chester,
presentation.
they're
So
all white women.
they are,
Interesting.
and they're
Well, that
either side is always all white women,
that
isn't it?
creature in the middle, I wouldn't say is much of a woman, but yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Some
the best part about it is in their bigotry, because that's what it is. Let's call it spade a spade. They're bigots. In their bigotry against people who dare to think differently than them, they've missed the fact that if you actually look at people who are anti-vaxxers, quote unquote, the vast majority of them are highly intelligent. They have PhDs or greater, or have intelligence and skill sets equal to it, and they actually have looked at the data and can recite it from memory and
I
can
hate
tell
to
you
brag.
precisely why they're against vaccination for X, Y, and Z reasons of different diseases. Now, there are some who do it on a more spiritual level, right? They're just against putting things in their body, da da da. Okay, all right, that's a different topic though, because the people they're talking about here clearly are the ones who are against the COVID vaccine on a epistemological level, on a scientific level, not on like a spiritual level, or on like, even most of them, it isn't even about the rights issue. That's a separate issue for these people. It's they've looked at the data and they're like, it just doesn't make sense for me to get it. There's
Yeah.
no logical reason why I
There's
would
no
take that.
danger.
Well, it's
Yeah.
not, and the thing is, the vaccine isn't even immunization anyway. It's a tonic, basically.
Correct.
And they're starting to admit that more and more. But I want to read this right here because I think this is interesting. Right here, this lady says, but worse than that, all his flag hugging and patriotism. Talk about Superman. Yeah, well, here's some security footage from outside a Gotham bar where the Bo Bro shows exactly what he thinks of America. That poor flag, I guess he threw and stomped down the flag, which, I'm sure Superman would do that. Is this man who we want our children to be watching? Not in my country. And then down here, she's looking right at you. She's speaking to you. Take a look at it. And I hope not in yours. Next time, we'll discuss whether Lobo called Star Wars totally inaccurate. This is Lois Lane from Stay in Your Lane. So maybe she's talking about Lobo. Sorry. Please like and subscribe. But she's talking to you and she's telling you that you're wrong if you disagree, right? Right at you. They're doing that, right? And some people think it's funny. Patton Oswalt's ha ha, new Superman versus Lobo has anti-saver idiots who are against Superman helping them. So Patton is weird. He's all over the place, with his opinions. Sometimes he's cool and based, and
Patton's a
sometimes he's
murderer.
not.
I'll just say that. I'll say it right
It's
to his face.
extreme.
He's a murderer. He murdered his ex-wife.
His career?
Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
What? He murdered his ex-wife? What?
Yeah. Look it
When
up.
did that happen?
Look it up. He's a murderer. So is Jim Carrey, by the way. Both got away with murder through overdosing.
Oh my god!
They purposefully overdosed their significant others and they died. They say it was an accident, but come on, it was intentional. Just look it up. I'm not making that up. Patton Oswalt killed his woman, and so did Jim Carrey.
The irony that she was a true crime author as well.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know of any of that. I haven't looked into that. But yeah, no, this is their attempt at levity to make fun of people who don't want to get the vaccination. Of course, the irony of all of this is the fact that the vaccination is not an immunization. It does not protect you. It probably makes you get less sick if you get it, though. That's probably useful. But the whole argument of if you're not vaccinated, even though I am, I'm in danger. And it's like, why?
Yeah.
It's overblown ridiculousness.
Yeah, it's the stupidest thing. And you have a president that's up there yelling at people and wagging fingers. He's much worse than Obama. And Obama was constantly chastising the American people. But Biden is just like,
our patience is wearing thin. Come do something about it then, you old decrepit. Yeah, who do you think you're talking to? This isn't you're not your subjects. We aren't your subjects. We don't say praise to you. You're not our king. The fuck off your throne before somebody knocks you off of it.
Anyway, I'm looking at the Patton Oswalt thing. I did find it strange that he got remarried like a few months after.
Yes, Booster. I don't just say things, Booster. It's a pretty. I'm not 100% he killed her, but I'm about 99.9 that he made sure that woman died.
The coroner ruled it as an accidental overdose. It's really
Ooh.
Listen, coroners are poor. Coroners don't make a lot of money. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. You throw a little money their way, they say what you want. Yeah. That's all I'm saying. They don't make a lot of money.
Well, we'll leave that there then. But let's continue on today's diatribe, maybe.
What do we have here? New Buffy the Vampire Slayer series announced.
Why?
I don't really care. Do you guys care?
Why does the universe hate me, Booster? Why?
I don't really care. I never cared about this, and I don't care about anything Joss Whedon's done because he's a hack.
He is a hack. The thing that kills me is you had this great darkish comedy, with a cheerleader in the movie, right? Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and it was fun. And then they came out with this series that was trying to be serious, but all it looked like to me was a ridiculous set of comedies. It was so bad. It was CW before CW, or maybe that's where the CW comes from. I'm not really sure, but it was horrible. Now, I know there's a lot of you in here, and did you say bad stuff about Buffy the Vampire Slayer? Fuck you. Buffy the
Well,
Vampire Slayer sucked balls.
I will say this: Angel was a superior show for the first four seasons. That fifth season was a mess, but the first four seasons, much better show than Buffy,
It
in my
was more
opinion.
watchable. That's to be fair.
Yeah.
So they're coming out with this from Boom Studios, of course, which good for them, making money. They
Like
have
boom.
a new Buffy Vampire Slayer, and they're talking about turning it into a show again.
What
But the comic is very
is she?
cool.
A white girl? What is she? What is? I'm trying to. Is she Mexican? She's very,
whoa, what is
very.
that
Yeah. What
noise?
is this? What is
What's
this
its
race she
chin?
is?
Well, this is like Buffy the last Vampire Slayer is what this is, and it looks like we're in a post-apocalyptic world.
Be
Uh,
the ghoul.
Buffy the Ghoul.
Buffy the Ghoul, yeah, it's not good.
Listen,
Uh,
why isn't that a comic yet? Why isn't some genius made vampires versus zombies or vampires versus ghouls? That could be an interesting little thing to play with there.
Ghouls. Goblins. Ghouls.
yes, yes.
Spiders.
Well, she's old now. Okay, she's an old lady, and she's in she lost, she failed. It looks like here, but whatever. This new book for all you Buffy the Vampire Slayer fans, and looks like she dropped the ball and got out of control. Spike is still around. Okay, good. I guess I thought he was dead. Whatever. But they're talking also about turning this into a new series, an actual live action series.
No thanks.
Someone else read them in the kitchen. What's
Yeah,
happening?
No thanks to Buffy.
yeah.
Oh, we're still on Buffy.
I'm just being
Okay.
sad. Yeah, I'm just being sad.
Okay.
Dave
Poor
said
Buffy.
Warner Brothers came the WB came out of CW, if I remember correctly. Okay, fine. But I just remember everyone was on and going on and on and on about Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and I remember the movie, and they were like, "Oh no, it's a TV show. You gotta check it out." I'm like, "Okay," so I went checked it out, and I was like, "Ugh," and I forced myself through several episodes, and I was like, "Ugh, ugh, ugh." It
It's
was
for
really
teenage girls
bad.
that think they're quirky.
Well, I just don't understand the girl they chose for as the lead. I understand she's got superpowers. I get that. But the most scrawny, bony,
Oh, Chester.
unsellable badass in history, dude.
We found. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but you've heard of the. Have you heard of the Russian Avengers movie, the Guardians movie?
Oh, it's probably awesome.
It exists, but in this movie is one of the hottest, fittest, most
Oh.
legit looking badass women I've ever seen in a role where she's supposed to be a badass.
Yeah.
And
An argument's about to break out, I bet.
it just made me so sad because this lady was fine. And we will not be getting women like that in Hollywood for a while, at least.
Yeah. Well,
Because she had it all. She had the fit, she had the muscle tone, all from head to toe. She looked the part. She had a hit of a six pack. Like she had the body to be a female warrior. She looked like a UFC fighter, and I found out that she is a martial artist. So she had the build for it, so it was believable. She was also not a little tiny, 5 foot tall woman, 5'9".
yeah.
She's got all of the features to where you can believe that she can kick ass.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
And
You have to be able to sell it, right? I mean,
yes,
even if someone who's really, really fit and trained, it can't necessarily sell it on the screen. Gina
that's right.
Carano, a good example in Mandalorian, she sold it real well. You believe she's a badass. Now, could she
Mhm.
actually be kicking all those people's ass in that in reality? Probably not. But she sold it, and she sold it well. Even Katie Sackhoff, sold it fairly well, and she's always kind of sold it fairly well. But the other lady there, the other Mandalorian that was with her, didn't sell it well at all. So it depends on the individual. There's plenty of women that can sell it. Having the fitness and having the actual training certainly helps. But there are plenty of women who can sell it. And keep in mind, I'm not being gender specific. There are plenty of men who are supposed to be badasses on the screen who can't sell shit. You don't believe it for a second, right? It's about
Yeah.
being able to sell it. And that girl that they had in Buffy the Vampire Slayer was literally a joke. Literally a joke. Because she did not only was she scrawny and unbelievable, she couldn't sell it at all. Did you even pay attention for half a second at how badly she moved?
Yeah.
it was really, really, really bad. And so I don't have a trouble. I don't have a problem whatsoever with a badass female, at all. It's just give me one that can sell it, please.
Yes.
And maybe they'll do better with the second time. Maybe we'll get a girl who actually can sell it. But I'm not enthused, Booster.
Yeah, man. That's wild.
Yeah, okay, fine. This is funny.
What the fuck is that? Viral YouTube video perfectly captures the idiocy of current Hollywood and AAA video game thinking.
Okay, we're going to watch a video here. I'm fairly confident this one won't get hit, but it could be. But whatever. I did turn the CC on you because I don't want to have to try to translate the Korean at speed. That would be brutal. So we do have the closed caption here in English. I got it set up so you guys should be able to read along. But this is funny, and this is a Korean making fun of Western dumbassery, is what this is. So I'm just going to play it.
엄청난 거 만들었어.
또 뭔 개망작을 만들었길래 호들갑이야 호들갑.
이번엔 진짜야. 이건 무조건
무슨 게임인데?
일단 얘가 주인공인데 얘가 태어날 때부터 힘이 존나 세서.
잠깐만.
어?
왜 백인 남자야?
왜 백인 남자냐니?
흑인일 수도 있고 동양인일 수도 있잖아.
아니 그거야 백인 남자가.
요즘 유저들이 얼마나 민감한데 아직도 그딴 구시대적인 발상으로 게임을 만들겠다는 거야? 이거야말로 인종의 다양성을 묵살해버린 시대착오적인 발상이야. 이렇게 만들었다간 대박은커녕.
알았어. 흑인으로 하면 될 거 아니야.
네. 그리고 언제까지 남자는 전사, 여자는 힐러나 마법사 같은 보조 역할을 해야 하는 거야?
그거야 남자가 인체 구조상 힘이 더.
너보다 힘센 여자가 없다는 거야 지금?
있겠지.
그럼 바꿔. 네. 그리고 체형도 마음에 안 들어. 왜 역해는 꼭 날씬하고 글래머러스해야 되는 건데?
그거야 남자 유저들이 많으니까.
이 게임을 남자만 했으면 좋겠어?
아니 그건 아니지.
그럼 바꿔. 네.
이제 됐냐?
연결 났네. 스토리는 뭐야?
저 주인공이 사랑하는 사람과 함께 마왕을 물리치.
사랑하는 사람이 있다고?
응.
설마 이성애자는 아니겠지?
그게 또 뭐가 문제인데?
요즘 성소수자들 입지가 얼마나 강해지고 있는데 그걸 뭐...
알았어, 알았다고. 바꾸면 될 거 아니야.
네. 그리고 지구인인 것도 마음에 안 들어. 이 우주엔 우리 말고도 얼마나 다양한 종족들이 많아. 왜 외계인들이 우리처럼 팔다리가 있다고 생각하지? 그건 너무 인간 중심적인 편협한 사고방식 아니? 팔다리가 없으면 무조건 슬라임이 돼야 하는 너의 그 틀에 박힌 사고방식도 마음에 안 들어. 돌처럼 딱딱해질 수도 있잖아. 돌이 왜 꼭 회색일 거라고 생각한? 혹시 보라색이 성소수자들을 대표하는 색깔? 돌에 팔다리가 없다는 편견을 버려. 팔다리가 꼭 한 쌍이어야만 되는데 또 어디로 쌀 건데? 전기가 있을 거라는 생각은 안 해봤어? 너는 외계인이 똥을 쌀 거라고 생각으로 외계인 옷을 다 보고 샤이야? 그런 가복밖에 생각 못하는 거야? 왜 또 그 자리야? 좀 더 이야기 생각하는 애들 때문에 게임 업계가 발전이... 바로 이거야. 완벽해. 이건 무조건 대박 날 거야. 아, 마지막으로 이 게임이 대박 나서 중국에 투자를 받을 수도 있으니까 중국인들이 좋아할 만한 포인트를 넣어야지. 비켜봐.
이 씨발놈아.
좋았어. 자, 이제 이 게임을 홍보해야겠지.
Yeah, baby.
Oh, fucking hell.
Yeah, baby. Now,
Well
is that
done,
accurate
Korea.
or what?
Pretty good.
Oh, that's amazing. Fucking hell, they're just taking the piss out of us now.
Yeah,
'Cause
well,
they fucking know.
they're right. Yeah, they get it. And this is Asia in general is having a big laugh. You got to understand, like with the Japanese, they don't speak out directly unless you really miff them. The Koreans are, as far as the Koreans concerned, they've invented everything that's ever been invented, and they've done everything first that's ever been done first. That's Koreans. That's how they are. So they're always going to look down on the West anyway. And they'll speak out about it. The Chinese, of course, will literally laugh and mock at everybody, and they're laughing at us right now. Some of these things that Biden did, like the Afghanistan thing, the Chinese people in general are laughing. They think America is a joke, and their great leader has been telling them that America is a joke for decades, and they're like, "Look, see, here's the proof. Look at this silly America." And what you've done is you have an environment in China where a lot of people don't like the CCP. And even though they know they can get arrested, their family can be hurt. There's protests on a daily basis all across the country. It tends to be very locally based against the local CCP leaders, but nevertheless, it's a thing that goes on. But what you're doing with this is these bloggers that get out there and are constantly promoting the CCP and the superiority of China. What you're doing is you're giving them a boost. You're giving them a free free media that they don't have to adjust and change. They can just directly funnel it right to the people and say, look, this is America. Look how foolish and stupid these Americans are. They're a failure. They're corrupt. They're evil. They're nonsense. We have to make sure we protect ourselves with them. Join the military because we're going to have to wipe the world of them. This is the kind of things the CCP are saying right now. They are preparing for war. I've told you guys this. I'm not lying about it. And with these little things like the housing market collapsing here past week or so, which has been going on for quite a while, and all the other economic things, the CCP does everything they can that you won't look at them. So they're going to put more and more pressure on the Americans and their allies, including Japan and Europe. And they're going to ramp this up more and more and more. And the problem is, in the White House, you have a person who's making it fucking easy.
Yeah.
Right? This is what's going on in Asia. And this is the reality. And these Koreans here are just taking a piss at the Americans or Westerners' expense, but they're not wrong, is the problem. So I don't know what to tell you, dude. It's funny, but it's also telling.
Very.
Very. Sorry, Booster. I had a little bit of a rant there.
No, it was a good rant. That was a very well done rant. But that was a very fucking funny video though.
It is.
It would be funnier if it wasn't too accurate and sad.
Yeah.
Because those people are controlling our entertainment now.
Yeah, it's true. And they're making so much trouble at a much wider arena of thought that they're really they're useful idiots. That expression is very fitting today, because for people in America, is China gearing up for war and the rhetoric just going freaking nuclear? Does that really matter to America proper? Probably not. No, I would seriously doubt that China would ever even try to threaten the homeland. However, those of us who live outside of America, say in Japan or Australia or even New Zealand, we have a big mess to deal with, right? And I don't know what your neighbors Australia is going to do because they have a big problem with the CCP, dude, and they have no way of defending themselves against them. And do you think if China really started pushing their advantage, their economic advantage, that they have legitimate legal rights to when it comes to Australia, do you think the Biden administration would step in and help them at all? He can't even remember the goddamn leader's name, dude.
Yeah. No, I don't.
I remember his own name on a good.
Hell, they won't even condemn what the Australian premiers are doing. Like, no,
Yeah.
they're not going to stop.
No, they're
Listen,
not.
China paid a lot of money, took a lot of effort to install their puppet, and they've got him. They're going to use him.
Yeah, no, they are.
And this housing crash is just going to push them further to war because they're going to need war to keep their country stable. External war.
Or at least
Keep
the
them from being
rhetoric
an
of it.
internal war.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah. I don't think they'll pull that trigger because they know they're not really prepared for victory. And here's the thing you got to keep in mind with the Asians in general. We're talking about China, but Asians in general. They're not stupid. They're really not. And they're not going to pull triggers they're not going to do things that they can't accomplish. So I don't know how much actual war you're going to see. But what we're definitely going to see is this huge rhetoric buildup. And the threat, to me, I think the real threat is this. If they get the Chinese worked up enough that they start demanding war, because the CCP doesn't want that. They just want to move attention away from themselves, and they feel that they're about to have a collapse, and they want to have a more control. The thing of pulling in more military is really about controlling the Chinese population, I think. However, if it gets to such a high point of rhetoric that the Chinese people are demanding that they cleanse the world of some perceived enemy, that the CCP might be forced to pull a trigger they know they shouldn't.
Yeah.
So what's the situation with Taiwan, Chester? Says Roger. Not good. Not good. They are they're at DEFCON 1, brother. And they've got themselves all teed up. They got the military ready. And I don't know because legally America doesn't have troops in Taiwan, but I kind of think we probably do. I've told you guys a story before. When I got off I was performing in Asia. I was touring the Hard Rock Cafe places. And, after I did all of that, I decided I want to stay. I had a bunch of money in my pocket. I decided I want to stay in Asia, hang out for a bit, and I went to Taiwan. And I'm getting off the plane, and one of the stewardesses came up to me and gave me a card and says, "You need to go here and register. It's not really supposed to be there, but you should go." And I was like, "Huh?" So okay. So I went and I went to the hotel and all that kind of stuff. The next morning, I got up and I went to this location, and it was a secret embassy in Taipei because they're not supposed to have one, but they did. And I went in and registered in case there was any problem with China, because this has been going on a long time. They would come and get me out. So if at that time, 27 years ago, the Americans had a secret consulate in Taipei to protect any of its citizens that were there, what do you think they're doing now? I mean,
Yeah.
seriously.
Well, the problem is our military is completely incompetent. And Afghanistan should have proven that to everybody. I don't care if Biden. Listen, our military for a year lied to Trump. The DoD lied to
They
him
did,
in the
they
report
did.
for a year about what was going on in Syria. There is absolutely no excuse for them not going around the president to get Americans out of harm's way in Afghanistan. None. I don't care. I don't care about treason. They don't care about treason, obviously. Miley definitely doesn't. He committed it openly and brazenly.
Yeah.
Your job is to protect the American people first. You swear an oath to defend the Constitution from all threats, foreign and domestic, and to protect the people of the United States of America, not to obey the orders of the president. That does not come first. That comes second. Your first job is to defend America.
Yeah.
And that means defending Americans. And they didn't do it because they're incompetent. Not because they didn't have the will to do so. I don't think they wanted to put Americans in danger. I think they're just incompetent and they don't know what the hell they're doing. And that's what happened. That's why we saw what we saw.
Sure.
So if China does come for Taiwan, which I can't think of any excuse why they wouldn't with the current president and current administration we have now, I don't have any faith in our brass to protect them.
Yeah, that's a problem, isn't it? Do you think the Democrats will sacrifice Milley to the courts?
No.
Because
they should
he clearly
sacrifice him to the gallows.
Well, he's clearly a traitor. I mean, it's clear.
Yeah, it's not even a question. He committed high treason, just openly, just right in front of God and everybody. High treason.
Does New Zealand have treason? Do you guys know what that word means?
Oh yeah, bro.
Okay.
Or nah.
No. All right, fine. But anyway,
Or yeah, or nah.
that was funny. I didn't know it was going to lead me into a Chinese conversation, but yeah, spot
China
on,
did.
dude. Smart on.
It did.
Yep. Oh my.
Shit, that Korean video has 7 million views. That's from 2018.
Yeah.
Fuck.
But it's still funny.
3 years old.
Go ahead,
Where are we?
mister.
Where are we at then? Marvel Studios promotes executive who believes the X-Men name is outdated. Poor.
Now, this lady, to be fair, she's been on board with Marvel Studios since the beginning, since Iron Man. She's probably done a lot of good work. She's probably earned her promotion, I would imagine. I'm going to give the benefit of doubt for everything because she has been around for a very long time. For 13 years, she's been involved with this company. So fair enough. Now, the question I have is more along the lines of what of course the headline wants you to talk about the X-Men thing, which we will, but that's not really what I found interesting about it, because let me read this through here. The Walt Disney Company Marvel Studio promoted Victoria Alonso to be the new president of physical, post-production, VFX, and animation. I don't know what all that means. Denley reported Alonso will oversee the division across the studio's slate of films and series and continue to report to Marvel's co-president Luis D'Esposito. Kevin Feige commented, Victoria has been an incredible partner and part of our team since the very first Iron Man. So I'm sure she's, deserving of it. And they're kind of praising her. All right, fine, no problem. All right. But here is the thing, though, that I kind of took me out of it. She wanted to promise more singing in Marvel. Uh, she's very happy with where they're going and the things they're going to do, and she's really excited about animation because that's her passion. She says, but we need more singing. We have an absolutely incredible group of people who are bringing their many talents to the exciting slate of films and series we have on the horizon, and I'm especially thrilled about ramping up our studio's animation efforts, which is a personal passion of mine. Looking forward to more singing. And she mentions it a couple times. She's really wants more singing. Why? Why does Marvel need singing? Booster, help me out here.
Singing in. Oh, I fucking
Singing.
hate musicals. I hate when characters just break into song for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
Unless it's the Jungle Book and we're talking about King Louie, because that's the greatest musical song of all time in any movie.
Sometimes musical works really well. I'll give you an example. Little Shop of
Especially
Horrors.
when it's Christopher Walken.
Or
Aladdin. The real Aladdin from the 90s.
Yeah, no, there are musicals that work just fine. But why is Marvel going to have more singing? What?
Because, listen. All right, listen. You can't put ladies.
Sing a whole new world.
You can't put ladies in charge of things like this and expect not to turn into some fabulous musical. All right, that's what they like. So they make. See, we've gone from an era where all these great things were made by people, not so much because they liked them, but because they knew that other people would like them. You see. Now we're in an era where people only make what they like, and then they look for the audience.
Yeah.
It's completely backwards, and it's obvious nonsense. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
It has never worked and will never work because it's just you're too in love with your own shit. So you're going to make it self-congratulatory and narcissistic, which is exactly what all of it's been. Self-congratulatory and narcissistic. There's no humility. There's no sense of any form of deep philosophy behind anything. Anything. I mean, you can go back just 10 years ago in superhero films were at least trying to battle with big concepts. Now what are they battling with?
Singing.
Singing, apparently. The lack of verse within it is what the problem is now.
Yeah. Well,
I hope they can fit these sing-alongs in between their shit jokes.
They probably will. I'm sure they'll make an attempt. But I think Gordon Ramsay put it really well once. My wife and I enjoy watching Gordon. We're fans. Is a dude who comes from very humble beginnings, and he kind of made a empire for himself. And he's very down to earth and kind of honest fella. He was doing his shtick, the producer shtick with the Hell's Kitchen, I think it was called. No, was it? No, Kitchen Nightmares. That was the one I'm talking about. Anyway, they went in, they did their thing, they reset the restaurant, they're doing all the stuff, and everybody's excited except for the lady owner, right? There was there was 3 people owners in this situation, and she just bitching, I don't like it, I don't like it, I don't like it. She's just going on about how much she's being very negative in front of her customers, and she's just being straight up bitch, right? And Gordon pulled her aside and he sat her down and he says, look, it has nothing to do with what you like. This isn't about you. This is about your customer. So make a decision. Either shut the fucking place down or shut your goddamn mouth.
Yeah.
And he said it exactly like that, by the way.
Oh, he's very, very direct. We'll be diplomatic.
Yeah, no, he is, and of course he was right. And she, actually took her husband to go over and tell her to shut the hell up, to where she finally did. The thing with it is, it's a perfect example. It's not about what you want; it's about what your customers want. And if you can't get that, get the hell out.
And if you're lucky, you can get both.
Yeah,
if you're lucky, if you're actually passionate about the thing you're producing, you can probably do both. But you cannot do one or the other.
Yeah.
Simple as that. You must decide who your master is. Is it your own whim, or is it the whim of what your customers have demonstrated to you they like? Now, that doesn't mean you're always going to get it right. It doesn't like Star Wars, I think, is a great example. The first film is pretty good. The second film's a masterpiece, and the third film is okay. It's not. I would say it's not as good as the first two personally. I think most people probably agree with that. But it's not terrible. But you could see the seeds of Lucas's own narcissism growing in his product. You go to the prequels, and there's a lot more of him playing to his own audience. And that's the problem.
He finally got it right with the Phantom Menace.
Yeah, he nailed it.
Yeah.
Nailed it. Jar Jar was just brilliant. Okay, for all of the shit about Phantom Menace, right? Duel of the Fates is one of the greatest fucking tracks of all time.
Oh, well, yeah, because John Williams is the greatest.
Is amazing, dude. Yes.
Might be the greatest composer of all time.
I'm just talking about in Star Wars, him in general. Anything, I fucking love Duel of the
It's fantastic. It's right up there with anything Mozart ever did. It's right up there with anything Beethoven ever did. And I don't care what anybody says. It'll be around.
My favorite.
So will the Imperial March. Those will be around long when we're ashes. Our bones will have turned to ashes, and they'll still be playing them.
It's true. And now, before we move off of this, I should mention the headline aspect of the X-Men name being problematic. I think this one little paragraph here really sums up the idiocy. She explained, I don't know where the future is going. It's funny that people call it the X-Men. There's a lot of female superheroes in the X-Men group, so I think it's outdated. Now, is she really that dense, or is she full of shit? I mean, that's the question. Because everybody understands that this is talking about ex-humans, ex-people. It's not the word. This use of the word "men" is not talking about males. It's talking about humans.
It should be ex-men and women. Just like instead of human, we should start referring to ourselves as human and people. You know what? Yeah, human and woman. People.
Humans and humans, I guess.
See, X-Men rolls off the tongue beautifully. What the fuck are you going to change it to?
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing.
What are you going to
There's nothing you can change it to that'll work.
No, but
trust me, if it could be changed, these lefties that have been in Marvel for 30 years now, they'd have done it by now. There's nothing that'll work. Anything you try to do will be soundly rejected by the fan base and by any rational person because it's going to sound like shit. You just call it X shit, because that'll be better than whatever nonsense you're going to do with it.
Yeah.
Just leave it, or just don't make X-Men at all.
As fuck, right?
Just call them the mutants.
You don't fuck with something like that.
X-Men is perfect, but because one, there's multiple reasons, but Xavier, the X gene, all these things, it's perfect. Men is not always only a synonym for males. And apparently, according to them, it never is, because gender and sexuality, according to them, aren't the same thing. So what are you complaining about? Yeah, except when it is, like right now.
Right, except when it is. However, as an English teacher, I'm actually qualified to answer the question. Males, have actually very few words in English that are gender specific. We basically end up getting all the generic terms. It's women that have a lot of gender specific words for them, special words for them. And this is something they don't seem to understand, I guess. That's why I asked the question, is this person really that dense, or are they that much full of shit? Because, this person is clearly done a good job, I guess. And they have themselves on a pretty high professional job. It would shock me that you would be so dense that you don't understand the basics of the English language, seeing as you are some manner of an executive. Therefore, I have to lean toward you're full of shit.
Yeah, that's probably the right answer.
Yeah.
It's just some things just work. In trying to change them, you better have a damn good reason / plan to do so.
Sorry, bye. I love you.
If you don't,
he has been summoned by the dominatrix.
If you don't have these things, you're going to make everything worse. A great example in just recent times of making changes that don't make any damn sense is Star Wars. Now, what am I talking about? Well, obviously the whole franchise
A
in and of
lot.
itself, but
That's a lot.
specifically Luke Skywalker's character. They
Yeah.
changed him to being a hopeful hero,
Yeah.
with a hopeful stoic hero by the end, very stoic at the end, very calm and doesn't get worked up very easily, which is exactly what he was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Which is,
A
him becoming
Jedi
a man,
Master. Yes.
to a brash, arrogant, self-entitled, self-centered psychopath who wanted to murder his own nephew in his sleep.
Yeah. It's
What?
time, Thundero. It's time.
All because, and the only reason that happened, two reasons. The only two reasons that happened is because he's a white guy, and we can't have positive white males in these roles apparently anymore, and because they needed to make the female try to make her look better.
And,
Don't actually write her to be better. No.
Yeah, and they
No.
They do this continuously, because they have this. Their logic is thus that in order to promote something new, you need to destroy the old. This is their
Yes.
way of doing it. You saw that Endgame. That's why Endgame sucked balls. It should have been
Yes.
it should have been a celebration of over a decade of movies and the fun we had with it. But instead, they had to tear them down to make way, and the females were torn down too, to make way for their new characters. We see this with everything, right? We see them, like, for instance, Loki. Now, here's the thing that I think they've really screwed up. Now, my demographic, the Gen Xers, we're outside of their demographic now. They don't care what we want, and for us, noping out of something, it's not hard to do. So they don't really care about our opinion whatsoever, and that's fine. We're not in their demographic. However, the Gen Z guys, those are your future. That's your money. And the Gen Z, there are some maniacs inside of that for sure. There always will be. But for the most part, they've noped out of your stuff. My daughter is a perfect example, right? Her favorite thing out of the Marvel movies was Tom Hiddleston's Loki. She loves him. She's all Twitter pated about the Tom Hiddleston, right? Okay, fine. A lot of women are, and she was very excited for Loki. And to be fair, so was I. I wanted to see a cool look because he's one of the best characters they've created in the
Yes.
Marvel studios. And it was so bad that she is completely noped out of Marvel altogether. And understand, this has nothing to do with my influence. Trust me. If it comes to personal taste or cultural things, my daughter does not care what I think, right? If it comes down to economics and life things, she does listen. But the other stuff, she's a kid. Why would she listen to me, right? This is her own, and she was devastated. She could not believe that they would tear down Loki so much just to promote some chick. That's what she said, right? And this is the problem that Marvel is totally missing the boat on. Your money, your future is sitting in Generation Z. It's right there. The Zoomers, I guess they call them. And you are absolutely alienating them with the stuff you're doing. So, there it is. And this silly liar, I think she's just full of it, yeah, you go ahead and screw stuff up. You keep doing it because you guys are heading down a really nice path here. Really nice. Anyway, let's move on here because we are getting on time. But I do have a couple other things I want to talk about. And the next one here is a little more fun, I think.
Predator 5. Wow. There's something I never thought I'd say. Cinematographer announces film has wrapped. Confirms Amber Midthunder will star as lead.
Okay. Now, this article is a bit confusing, Thundera, because it says it has wrapped or it's almost wrapped. However we look at it, this movie we didn't even know was being made is basically done. Okay. The working title was Skulls. Makes sense, I guess. Predators. There's some offhand comment that there might be a Sasquatch in it. Okay. And alrighty then. So we got a new Predator, which I think all of us are kind of saying, Uncle, we've had enough of the Predators. Thank you very much. But we're getting more. We're going to get more. And like I said, I didn't even know this thing existed, but here it is. And it looks like it's basically done. And they're going to be this time, however, we have a female lead. Okay. Okay. And she's a Native American. Okay. Okay. And
Allegedly, she's pretty white for a
yeah, yeah,
native,
yeah,
but yeah.
but she's supposed to, her character is a Native American, and the Native American is going to show everybody else how to deal with a predator. I am sure. And I don't know that anything could be worse than the last one because that was really, really, really bad. And I can only hope that this one will be a slightly better. However, I thought we would take a look at Miss Mid Thunder. Would you like to take a look at her? I would.
I'm looking at her right now.
Yeah, well, I prepared. So, this is your new predator killer. Uh, she's not ugly. That's a step up. It's a
She is
step up, dude.
in some pictures she's not ugly. In others, she looks like she has a mild case of Down syndrome.
Yeah, no, she's
So
not the most photogenic person, which is kind of weird. But whatever. It's the closest Indian they could find, I guess. I mean feather, not dot, by the way.
yeah.
But eh, eh, it could be worse. She's not horrible, dude. We've seen some real ugly girls thrown in front of us recently. It's not that bad. We do have this other picture of her here, and this one's weird. She looks more Indian in this one, and she's
Mhm.
showing off. Well, she got a little bit of a butt. Not much. I mean, it's fine. It's probably more along what I like. But then again, I don't understand the whole fat ass thing and the absolute fat of it. Do you understand the fat ass thing? What's going on with the
Oh
fat
yeah.
ass thing?
No. Get out of here if you don't got some ass. I like my women like black men like the women, big old asses and titties.
Well, okay,
Otherwise,
then that's fine. But that for me, there's a difference between an athletic butt, which can be certainly
hmm
attractive, and a fat ass.
hmm
Right?
hmm
Like Nicki Minaj is a fat ass. Of course, she put that shit in there. She's literally got butt implants.
yes,
I'm not interested in fat asses. So this right here is much better as far as I'm concerned. But it is weird how unphotogenic she is, and I mean in the aspect is however you shoot her, she doesn't. She looks different. I mean, look, she looks like a completely different person here than she does here. They don't look like the
yeah.
same human, right?
It's weird.
But they
It's
are.
a weird thing about her face. I don't
Yeah,
know.
and this is the thing about being photogenic. It's like, does the camera capture you well, but it also does it capture you consistently well? That's what being photogenic is. She's clearly not. However, I think I take it as a positive because I think this is a little bit of a step up. She's got a very normal body. She's not some weird,
I would
strangely
say
fake sculpted thing.
if you go back to the other picture of her butt's okay. But
Yeah, I
what
think
she
it's fine.
actually has that's quite nice. She has a nice toned back, and that's to me. I don't know. It's just something about females. I like a nice back. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
it's nice to have, ladies,
To each
to
his
keep your
own.
back muscles in check.
Yeah, and she's not a very large-breasted person, but that's okay. I'm looking at this as a positive, guys. I think
Yeah.
this is better. This is a step up. And she's supposed to be a Native American. That's what they're going to be selling. Okay, fine, no problem whatsoever. And she's going to be kicking some predator ass. So, yeah, okay. Did you even
Just sir, if
know they
you
were
look,
making this movie?
I did not. If you look in the general chat in the Discord real quick,
Hmm.
you'll see the lady I was telling you about from that Guardians movie, and you'll understand what we're being robbed of. Because yes, she's a cute girl, but this other woman is drop dead gorgeous, and we don't have that in movies anymore because it's just not permitted, especially action movies where they belong, if anywhere.
Yeah, she's not bad looking. She's got that primal lean predator
Yeah,
look going on her. Yeah, she's not a bad looking girl at
yeah.
all. And if she can sell it, you could believe that she's capable. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I got to check this movie out because I'm all about Russian Avengers. I'm all about it.
It's not terrible. It's not good either. The problem I had with it is the dub that I found, or the sub that I found of it, was clearly written by somebody who's a native Russian speaker, and the English doesn't make sense part of the time.
Uh-huh.
But other than
I'll show you
that,
guys the picture. There it
it's
is.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's I could believe she could be a warrior. I believe that. She's got the build for a female warrior.
Yeah, no, and also you have to be able to sell it, and that
Yes.
great, and that's if we can have that, that's wonderful. But I don't know the action capabilities of Mid Hunter here, and I'm okay. I didn't know this movie was coming. I don't know that I need this movie. However, a somewhat attractive girl is a step up. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
What they've been throwing at us recently is pretty harsh, dude.
Yeah.
So I consider it a plus. This is a positive article in my opinion. All right. Anyway, let's do the last one. Okay.
Suspected NVIDIA GeForce. What? Suspected NVIDIA GeForce now leaks lead. Oh, NVIDIA GeForce Now. Okay, it's one word. Okay. Suspected NVIDIA GeForce Now leaks, there should be a comma, lead to speculation, new Superman and Batman games, as well as, should be another comma,
Yes.
Injustice 3 are in development.
Yes, it's not horribly well written by Augustine here, but anyway, more superhero games, please. Hopefully, it'll be good. They've been talking about this the Superman game coming out of the creators of Arkham for quite a while, a
Well,
long
they're making
time.
they're making a Wolverine game. They released a little non-gameplay trailer, but just a little trailer about that.
Yeah.
So I thought they moved on to Marvel, but maybe not. Maybe they're doing them all. They're like, listen, we'll do everybody's game. Just bring it here. We'll make it.
I'm kind of wondering if the Superman game, because they've been talking about this so long, it might be kind of partially in the can, as it were.
Yeah.
That game might be actually pretty much close to ready, I would think. The Wolverine thing is in development. And who knows? These guys try to build engines that they can plug and play. And
Yes.
I don't have a problem with that. But I would love to see a good Superman game. And they've been working on this forever. And also talk about Batman, or is this Superman and Batman? I hope it's just Superman, because that's what they were talking about in Justice 3. I'm not really into that series, but I know some of you guys are. That no. Okay, Gods Among Us.
I really, for once in my life, it's never happened and it probably never will. I want a good Superman game. I don't like this excuse that they give that he's too hard to make a game. Shut up. You're using the wrong villains. That's why it's hard. You've been using the wrong villains. You don't have to use kryptonite to explain why you can hurt him. There are villains who can hurt him. There's villains who can kill him.
Yeah.
Use them. Problem solved. And you could even do, like, one thing you could do is, as Superman, your real problem isn't so much that you're taking damage, it's that others are taking damage. Right? So if you're trying to stop, I don't know, pick one of his villains, Luthor, from blowing up something, and if you don't get there in time, other people take damage. So it's a time mission. You got to get there. And you could do various different versions of that. It doesn't always have to be a beat 'em up. There's other ways to make these games and other mechanics you can make with failure states that are not just dying. And there's also ways you could make it so Superman can be defeated, physically defeated, whether it's through aliens that are relatively equal to him or equal to him in strength,
or just magic.
or magic would be the most sensible one.
Yeah.
Just use magic. I want a good Superman game. I know it can be done. Just takes the right studio to finally do it, and they are a really good studio. Those Batman games are fantastic. I think the Wolverine game will be great too. That's a pretty good character, pretty good. Like, you go from Batman to him, makes sense. The Superman one has been rumored for years now. I think almost a decade.
Yes.
So hopefully it's real and we get something on it.
Yeah, and they do kind of show some of the stuff they found in the code here with Bioshock and Arkham Knight remasters, as well as GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas remasters, which we saw a lot of that remastering stuff coming along, and of course they're remaking Knights of the Old Republic, which be afraid, be very afraid. They also
Yep.
saw some new stuff. 2022 Bioshock. It's not named yet, and we do know that they've been talking about Superman stuff for quite a while. And also Batman Arkham Insurgency. So they've saw some code in there. I guess Nvidia
That's
is just
great.
preparing for launches, and they just kind of head in the back. Then they can just give an update and turn it on. This person hacked it and found it in the back wall. Which means it's probably pretty accurate then.
Yeah. No, Josh is right. It's Insomniac doing Wolverine, the ones who did the Spider-Man game.
Yeah, well, Insomniac,
That's
the ones that's supposed to be doing the Superman game too. Yeah.
Oh, is it? Because that was is
No,
that
no,
who did the Arkham?
that's Rock something.
Yeah, Rocksteady. Yeah, that's who he
Yeah.
said, Rocksteady. Regardless, I want a Superman game, damn it.
Yeah.
Just
so
do
I-
it. Give me a magic one. Give me one where he's fighting New God stuff. Just anything. Don't make it about freaking Lex Luthor. And give me a villain he can fight that makes sense. He can have more than one in the game. Doesn't have to just be the one. And just give me a Superman game that's good. For God's sake, it cannot. If you can make like 4 Batman games that are good, you can figure out Superman. Spider-Man's had a ton of great games. You can figure out Superman. It can be done.
Imagine this, though. Imagine this. You start the game. A cinematic starts our game as cinematic, and Superman is fighting Doomsday in an amazing cinematic, and he gets killed. And the
Hmm.
game is about you coming back as Superman and trying to figure out how you can defeat Doomsday. You got to stay hidden. You can't let yourself be known because Doomsday and other people will be on you, and people will be in trouble. So it's more of in a way, a stealthy Superman game. What do you think about that idea?
Maybe, but I want a proper Superman game before they try anything crazy.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
It's just all you have to do, like you said, just magic or dark side is all you got to do, and there you can have people who can hurt him. Done. Simple as that. We don't have to reinvent the wheel here. Superman has villains and whole armies of them that can hurt him, that can potentially kill him. It doesn't have to be anything more specific or crazy than that.
Yeah, you could also take the Justice League Dark. Maybe throw Captain Marvel in there, and they've been possessed by some
Yep.
ancient magical entity, and Superman has to go and take him down.
I like it.
Yeah.
Well, Black Adam. There's ways to do this. A
Yeah.
lot of ways. And if you're going to put it in the DC universe expanded, the full universe, have the reason he's dealing with this stuff is because something happened to Wonder Woman. So he steps in to help her out, and it turns into something bigger than he thought.
Yeah, because she's magical world, and
Yeah.
that's there's so many things you could do, and they are doing it. We are getting a Superman game. Looks like they're calling it Man of Steel. So does that give us any hints? At least in the on the Nvidia board, in the back wall of their game announcement board here, it's called Man of Steel. What do you think about that? Does that give us any hints?
Not really. I mean, he's been called Man of Steel since forever, so that could be just about anything. Yeah, I would say not really, but I think it's a good indication that if they're going to make it, it's going to be more of like what I'm talking about, where it's more action oriented.
Yeah.
And that's good. That's what I want to see out of a Superman game. I'll throw money at it if it's decent.
Well, the reason I said that is because I'm wondering if they're somehow tying in this into the Snyderverse,
Oh, I hope.
which would be Zod, right?
I really hope not. I'm sick of Zod too. Damn it. Listen, I want to see Superman be Superman. I don't want to see Zack Snyder's edgy little angsty. He didn't get enough love when he was a teenage boy from his daddy Superman. All right? I want Superman, damn it. The world needs Superman right now. And we don't have him.
Agree. And the best Superman game I remember playing wasn't even a Superman game, but you remember how they had the Marvel Ultimates, and it was kind of like a Diablo-esque isometric game, over the top type
Yeah.
of game, and that
Yes.
Justice League, Warner Brothers came out with something very similar. and you could play Superman and many other people. That's the last good Superman game I played, and it was kind of
It was at best a meh.
yeah, it was meh. Anyway, interesting. These companies need to learn. You can't hide shit from these damn autistic hackers, dude. You know, keep it internal until it comes out because they're gonna find your shit. They gotta get it. Yeah, they go. One of these days they'll go to learn, or they won't, or they won't. Who knows?
One would
Uh,
think.
one would think, and I'm still very shocked because if you guys didn't notice, Thundero's using a icon here of our booster. And what's the little tag underneath in there? What does that say?
It says, "In gay we
Oh,
trust."
of course,
See,
Booster's birthday.
Booster.
Yes.
Yeah, Booster loves the gays, and he loves gayness itself. You see.
Yes.
He's a big fan.
Well, in this picture here of Booster, he looks very tentative and about his gayness, and he also looks extremely Polish.
Well, it would explain a lot if he was a Polak.
It would. It really would. Yeah.
I could believe a lot of things if that happened.
Tentative Polak. Oh my. Are we allowed to say that word in 2021?
I'm saying it. So
Yes, we are. All right.
Listen, I'm from a place that's very close to Poland. My ancestry is. My bloodline earned the right to say that word, even if the Polish saved my people multiple times throughout history. That doesn't matter. My bloodline earned the right.
Fair enough. Whereas my bloodline conquered the Slavs and made them our peasants.
Yeah.
Blah! Alrighty. I probably shouldn't say that so loud. The
Listen.
Poles outnumber us.
The Poles are a crazy people. They're either being conquered or they're saving all of Europe. There's no in between with Poland.
Well,
there's just no in between.
You know, all of the classic Polish jokes aside, Poland's actually not doing so bad.
I'd love to live in Poland right now. Holy crap!
Yeah, no, those Eastern European Baltic states are coming up. I mean, the Poles are doing a lot in entertainment, and I think they're developing well. I'm pretty excited what's happening in the Baltic areas. You know, like Poland and even Romania, Moldova. Even going down toward Austria, which I understand that's a kind of a split. But still. I think what they're doing is proper, and I hope them wish them all the luck. I know one of my favorite game developers as far as board games is from Poland. But anyway, guys, thank you all very much for coming in here. Once again, sorry for missing yesterday, but I just got slammed, dude, and it's just the way it is. Nevertheless, tomorrow I think, are doing some kind of D&D thing. I don't know if Rabbit's back or not, but we'll certainly have fun with that. And of course, that show is really a self-indulgent indulgence. But if you enjoy that kind of thing, come check it out. I'm not sure if we'll be doing Drone and Quarter this week. I have to go over the Discord and see what they're talking about. However, we'll definitely be back next Sunday, I hope, unless some other craziness happens. And we will have our Night Owls as scheduled. So Thundero, take us out of here, man.
I have very, very simple things to say. This is the best time of year, in my opinion. I love the fall, but we're not quite there yet. Well, no, yeah, we are. It's the 21st. It is fall now. It is officially fall tomorrow, technically. And where Chester is, it's already fall.
Well,
it's my favorite time of the year. It's just the right amount of everything. It's a little bit warm, but not too warm. It's a little bit cool, but not too cool. You get all the best foods come out of fall, and you have the harvest festivals and all these things. There are as many reasons that the people who control the narratives of this world want you to despair. They desperately want you to give up. Never, ever give up. With your last breath on this earth, be in defiance of these people. Have a good night.
Namaste. Later, everybody.